Welcome to The Lone Cure, the internet corner where you learn lifelong lessons in minutes of just listening. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating read. It's called Become a Genius, second edition, by Marco Guerrero. Promises to really sharpen your mind.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the author's own story. Marco Guerrero, he wasn't, naturally gifted at this stuff. He actually struggled quite a bit with reading speed and just understanding everything when he started his business degree.
Right, so he wasn't just okay with that. He actually researched techniques, applied them, and saw massive improvement.
Exactly. He talks about getting his reading speed up incredibly high, like close to 20,000 words per minute, apparently.
Oh, wow.
And memorizing huge chunks of text. And he ended up graduating with a really outstanding GPA.
It really shows that these skills, learning how to learn, can be developed, right? It's not just something you're born with.
Definitely. And it tackles that feeling I think we all get sometimes, just drowning in information, whether it's books, emails, whatever, wishing we could process it faster.
Totally. So this book offers a kind of roadmap for that. Now, look, if what we talk about today sparks your interest, and I have a feeling we really do recommend grabbing the actual book, Become a Genius. It goes into way more detail.
It's worth the read.
For sure.
Yeah.
And hey, if you learned something useful today, and you definitely will, please give us a like and subscribe for more deep dives like this one.
Okay, so what are we covering from the book? We're going to hit three main areas Marco Guerrero lays out. First, super reading, basically, speed reading techniques, how to read way faster.
Okay.
Second, memorization, how to actually boost your memory and recall information better.
Always useful.
And third, some strategies for just increasing your overall brain power, making your brain work better, essentially.
Sounds good. So we pulled out the key stuff, the actionable tips, maybe some surprising bits you can use straight away. Let's dive in. Super reading.
Right. Super reading.
It does sound a bit like a superpower, doesn't it? But it's really about training.
It is. It's about tackling that slow reading frustration. You've got a pile of books or reports, and it feels like it'll take forever. Guerrero suggests you can actually train yourself to read much, much faster. Maybe even hitting those really high speeds he mentions.
Like 25,000 words per minute? Is that even possible?
Well, he suggests it's possible with intense training, but the key thing is it takes time. Consistent practice. It's not an overnight trick.
Right. And he starts by pointing out some bad habits most of us have, things that slow us down. First one is regression.
Yeah, regression. That's when you keep looking back, rereading words or sentences you've already passed.
Oh, I do that all the time, thinking I missed something.
We all do. It feels like you're being careful, making sure you understand. But Guerrero argues it actually breaks your flow. Your brain can't build a smooth picture of the text if you keep jumping back.
Okay, so it's counterproductive.
Pretty much. He suggests ways to stop it, like physically covering the lines you've read with a card or your hand.
Oh, interesting.
Or using some software that only shows you a word or a phrase at a time so you literally can't go back easily.
Forces you forward. Makes sense. Okay, what's the next bad habit?
Subvocalization. That's the little voice in your head saying the words as you read.
Ah, the inner narrator.
Yeah.
Yes. Very familiar.
It's super common, comes from how we learn to read by sounding things out. But it creates a bottleneck. Your reading speed gets capped by how fast you can speak in your head, usually around, 120 to 200 words per minute?
Right. So how do you shut that voice up? Or at least quiet it down?
He has a few ideas. One is to focus really hard on visualizing what you're reading. Create mental pictures instead of just hearing the words.
So engage the visual part of the brain more.
Exactly. Another trick is to keep your mouth busy. Somehow, maybe lightly chew gum, or just keep your tongue gently pressed to the roof of your mouth, something to distract the speech mechanism.
Huh. Weird, but I can see how that might work.
And just intense concentration on the meaning itself can help bypass that auditory loop.
Okay, so picturing the marketplace instead of saying stall, fruit, crowd in my head.
You got it. The third bad habit is a slow fixation rate.
Fixation rate. What's that?
It's how quickly your eyes jump and pause or fixate on words as you read. Most people fixate on almost every single word.
Like your eyes are just crawling along the line.
Exactly, word by word. And that's obviously slow, especially with harder text where meaning comes from groups of words.
Right, you need to see the phrase, not just the individual words.
Precisely. So to improve this, he suggests things like building your vocabulary. The more words you know instantly, the bigger chunks you can grasp. And being familiar with the subject helps too. Your brain anticipates better. He also mentions photo reading briefly, which is about taking in whole pages visually, but that's more advanced.
Okay, so stop backtracking. quiet the inner voice and train your eyes to take bigger bites.
Got it. What about the actual speed reading techniques he recommends?
Okay, so first up is skimming. This isn't reading every word, it's more like a strategic search for the main ideas. Like glancing through a chapter to see what it's generally about.
Exactly. You're looking for clues, headings, topic sentences, keywords. It's great for getting the gist quickly, maybe deciding if you need to read something more deeply. Probably not the best for exam studying, though, where details matter.
Right.
He says a decent skimming speed is around 700, 800 words per minute. The method is often read the first and last paragraphs fully, then maybe the first or last sentence of the paragraphs in between.
So you're hitting the key structural points.
Yeah, understanding how the text is organized is crucial for good skimming. It works best with nonfiction, things with clear headings and structure, and he's clear to distinguish this from scanning.
Okay, how is scanning different?
Scanning is when you're hunting for something specific, a particular name, a date, a statistic. You know what you're looking for.
Like searching a document for a keyword.
Precisely. You need to understand the text's structure. Is it alphabetical, chronological, by topic, to scan efficiently? And he suggests using a finger or a pointer to guide your eyes quickly over the text, again, to stop you from accidentally reading everything or regressing.
Got it. Skimming for overview, scanning for specifics. What else?
Meta-guiding. This is where you actively use a pointer like your finger, a pen, even the cursor on a screen to lead your eyes smoothly across the text.
I've seen people do that. Does it actually work?
Guerrero says yes. It helps set a steady rhythm for your eyes, pushing them faster than they might go naturally. It also encourages your eyes to take in wider spans of text, groups of words, instead of fixating word by word. He calls it creating an invisible shape on the page with your pointer.
Okay.
And interestingly, it can also help reduce that subvocalization habit.
How?
By focusing on the physical movement and the visual input, it kind of overrides the tendency to say the words. He even suggests trying to count silently, like 1, 2, 3, 4 while you do it, or hum softly.
Just to occupy that part of your brain.
Right. The aim is to process chunks of visual information more directly, imprinting it subconsciously while still understanding it, of course.
Fascinating. It's like retraining your eye movements. What about tech? Software-based methods?
Yeah, he covers rapid serial visualization presentation, or RSVP. This is where software flashes words at you, one after another, very quickly in the same spot on the screen.
Oh, I think I've seen apps for that.
There are quite a few. Things like the Spreed browser extension or OpenSpritz. The idea is it forces your focus, builds concentration, and pushes your processing speed because you have to keep up. Some even highlight a specific letter in each word to help your eyes lock on faster.
Sounds intense. Like a brain workout.
It definitely can be. Then there's visualization, which we touched on for subvocalization.
Right, creating mental pictures.
Exactly. He emphasizes this as a powerful technique on its own, not just for speed, but for boosting comprehension and memory, too. Turning abstract words into vivid mental images, connecting the info to things you know, places you've been, making little mental movies.
Makes it stickier.
Yeah. And he says combining visualization with meta-guiding can be really effective. He does mention things like photo reading, quantum speed reading, claims of over 10,000 words per minute.
Wow.
But he notes they're not really for beginners, and there are questions about how much you actually comprehend at those speeds. So he doesn't go deep on those.
Probably wise. Okay, so to really master these speed reading skills, what are the key takeaways from the book?
Number 1 is practice. Consistent, regular practice, like any skill.
Makes sense.
Start with easy, enjoyable material. Don't try to speed read a dense legal contract right off the bat. Build confidence first.
Good point.
Remember, it's not for everything. Some texts need slow, careful reading. Train yourself to see words in groups, maybe hold the book or screen a bit farther away.
Widen the view.
Actively fight regression. Tell yourself, read it once, move on.
Discipline.
Read when you're alert, not tired. Maybe prioritize what you read. Time yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Track your speed and check your comprehension. Are you actually understanding what you're reading faster?
Crucial balance.
Skimming first can help you focus when you do the main read and minimize distractions, noise, bad lighting, notifications, create a good reading zone.
Okay, so it's a mix of technique, habit breaking, and environment. Solid advice. Let's switch gears then. Memorization, the second big pillar.
Right. Boosting memory. Guerrero starts with this really optimistic idea. Your brain might actually be capable of storing almost everything it encounters.
Really? Everything?
That's his proposition. He suggests forgetting isn't always about losing data, but more about not storing it properly in the first place, or maybe not knowing how to retrieve it.
So the filing system is the issue, not the storage capacity.
Kind of, yeah. Which means we can learn better filing and retrieval methods.
Okay, I like that. So what techniques does he offer?
Well, the most basic, but still essential, is repetition. Rote learning.
Just repeating it over and over.
Yes, but not mindlessly. He stresses understanding while you repeat. Say it aloud, write it down, visualize it, rehearse it mentally. The goal is effortless recall. He mentions Vedic chanting as an ancient example of using precise repetition for massive memorization over generations.
Wow.
His practical advice is, read it, break it into small batches, recite a batch repeatedly, then test yourself after a break, see what stuck. And he also mentions research showing that connecting new info to what you already know really helps lock it in.
Building those connections makes sense. What about mnemonics, those memory tricks?
Ah, yes, mnemonics. He loves them. Calls them learning techniques that translate info into a format your brain finds easier to hold on to. Simple, creative ones often work best. He covers a few types.
Okay.
There's the mnemonic link system, or the story method. You create a little story or poem linking items together, often using the first letter of each. Visualization is key here.
Like making a silly sentence to remember planets.
Exactly. The potential downside, he notes, is if you forget one link, the rest of the chain might break, and it can get tedious for really long lists.
Right, the story falls apart.
Then there's the peg system. This is clever. You first memorize a standard list of peg words associated with numbers, often using rhymes like 1 is bun, 2 is shoe, 3 is tree.
Okay.
Once you have your pegs memorized, you link each new item you want to remember to a peg word using a strong visual image. Like if you need to remember milk first, you picture milk pouring on a hamburger bun.
Vivid. I can see how that would stick. Useful for lists in order.
Definitely. Then there's the major system, which is more complex, mainly for numbers. You turn digits into specific consonant sounds.
Numbers into sounds.
Yeah, like 1 is T or D, 2 is N, 3 is M, and so on. Then you add vowels to make words out of those sounds. So the number 32 might become plus N. You add vowels, maybe it becomes man or moon.
Whoa. That takes some learning itself.
It does, but it's powerful for long numbers once you master the code. Then there's the Luci system, or memory palace, ancient technique.
Memory palace. Sounds grand.
It is. You use a familiar place, your house, your walk to work, and mentally place the items you want to remember at specific locations along that route.
So you put the buy eggs reminder mentally on your front door.
Exactly. You memorize the route first, very clearly. Then you create vivid, maybe weird images connecting each item to a location. To recall, you just mentally walk the route and the images pop back into your mind.
That sounds incredibly effective, especially for visual thinkers.
Very. He also mentions acronyms making a word from the first letters, like NASA or scuba. Or acrostics, where the first letters make a phrase like, Richard of York gave battle in vain for rainbow colors.
ROYGBV, yeah.
Adding rhythm or a tune helps too. The main thing with all mnemonics, he says, is making connections using strong visualization. They bridge the gap for hard-to-remember stuff and make retrieval faster.
Lots of tools in that mnemonic toolbox. What's the last memory technique?
Chunking, which you probably do already without thinking about it.
Like with phone numbers, breaking them up.
Exactly. Grouping information into smaller, meaningful chunks. 555, 1234, instead of 10 random digits. It reduces the load on your working memory. So break down the info, find logical groups, repeat the chunks, test yourself. Simple, but effective.
And the overall advice for memory.
Practice when your mind is fresh. Don't try to memorize when you're exhausted. Better focus means better encoding and recall.
Makes total sense. Okay, final section. Unleash your power. Increasing overall brain power. This sounds broader than just reading or remembering.
It is. Guerrero talks about brain power as your total mental capacity, intelligence, creativity, intuition, the works. And the good news, he says, is that it's not fixed. You can actually improve it with practice, discipline, motivation, patience.
So we can genuinely get smarter or more capable mentally?
That's the idea. He suggests several ways. One is mind mapping.
Those diagrams with branches coming out from a central idea.
Exactly. It's a visual way to organize info that mirrors how the brain thinks more naturally, non-linearly, making connections. He argues it taps into more of your brain's abilities and really helps with long-term memory and understanding complex topics. It should complement, not necessarily replace, regular notes.
Right, a different way to structure knowledge. What else?
He stresses using both critical and lateral thinking.
Okay, critical is the logical, analytical side.
Yeah, evaluating facts, making reasoned judgments. Lateral thinking is the creative, out-of-the-box side. Finding new angles, generating ideas.
And we need both.
Definitely. Relying too much on just one limits you. He advises practicing them together, analyze, and imagine. It leads to more flexible, powerful thinking.
Be logical and creative. Got it.
And then mental stimulation, basically keeping your brain active and challenged.
Use it or lose it.
Pretty much. Things
Yeah.
like mind games, chess, Sudoku, crosswords, creative stuff, writing, drawing, playing music, or tackling complex technical things, learning code, doing calculus, whatever pushes your cognitive limits.
Keeps the neural pathways firing.
Exactly. And finally, he loops back to some foundational lifestyle factors that are crucial for brain power.
Like what?
Reducing stress. Chronic stress is terrible for the brain, blocks focus, harms memory, can even damage brain cells over time.
Yeah, hard to think clearly when stressed.
Getting enough sleep. A tired brain just doesn't function well. Learning, memory, decision-making all suffer.
Sleep is critical.
Meditation. He highlights how it can relax the mind, improve focus and concentration, boost creativity and learning, potentially even by changing the brain structure, like thickening the cortex.
Interesting. The physical benefits of meditation.
Exercise. Physical activity is huge for the brain. Boosts blood flow, oxygen, releases feel-good chemicals that fight stress, promotes brain chemicals that protect neurons.
Good for the body, good for the mind.
And eating well, giving your brain the nutrients it needs. He specifically mentions omega-3s as being really important for brain activation and health.
So it's really holistic. Mental techniques plus taking care of your physical and mental health foundation.
Absolutely. You need the foundation to support the higher level skills.
Wow. This has been a really rich, deep dive into Become a Genius. It's packed with practical stuff.
It really is. And I think the core message is that you don't need to do everything at once. Pick one or two techniques that sound interesting, whether it's trying meta-guiding for reading or using the loci system for memory, or just committing to more brain games.
Small steps, consistently applied.
Exactly. Small, realistic changes. Focus on what works for you. It's about consistent effort and patience over time. That's how you build that potential.
It's definitely not about finding some magic bullet, but about cultivating better habits and skills.
Precisely.
Okay, so a final thought for everyone listening, building on all this.
Now that you've explored these strategies for boosting your learning and cognitive abilities, what's one small, actionable step you can commit to taking today to start unlocking your full potential?
Great question to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us on The Lone Cure for this deep dive. We really hope you found it valuable.